What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. I have been gone for a year, if you can believe it. Because, like I said, life be lifing. Sometimes you have to take time and deal with life. You've got family issues, you've got financial issues, you've got business issues, you've got career issues, whatever the issue is. Sometimes you have to pull back and you got to make things happen for yourself, right? And I want to talk to you about how that happens in the real estate space and what we can do about it. Because the reality of it is, they, when I say they, I mean all these people that are out there, all these gurus, all these trainers, all these courses, all this software, all this education, all this stuff that's out there. What are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? And what's really out there? What does real estate look like today? Is it still a viable way for you to make money? Can you turn nothing into something right now, right? That's the big question. That's the thing that everybody wants to know. Yeah, I have an idea. I have to write it down. Because there are a ton of people that are out there right now trying to find a way to do real estate, trying to find a way to turn nothing into something, right? Because let's face it, there was a time when this was so easy. Now it takes a little bit more skill. And as I've always said, you absolutely have to have a team. You've got to have people that you can reach back to and say, hey, how do we do this? Or people that you can partner with. Or um, right now, hard money. When I first started this, you could get into this with $5,000 or $10,000. You could build your down payment into the deals because there was so much equity in them. And the reality of it is that still does exist, but not as big as it used to. And a lot of lenders don't want you to pull that capital out of there in that particular manner because, as many of you already know, I mean, some of you that are watching this already do fix and flips. You already do wholesale deals, maybe not as many as you like, maybe not enough to sustain the lifestyle that you currently live, meaning you can't leave your job to do that, right? Because you know how much it costs to put money down on some of these deals, right? We just did a property that we bought for, I want to say it was $70,000 or $75,000, which by the way was a great deal. We still had to put $40,000 down on that. Yeah, $40,000. It was a little more like 42 on such a small deal. It makes absolutely no sense. But this is what it is, right? You've got hard money lenders that are telling you they're private money lenders that are acting like hard money lenders, and you have to be able to differentiate between the two. So here, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can get ahead. And if you've got comments, please, by all means, comment. I will respond to your comments. I'll send you whatever links you need, whatever it is you need. I want to make sure that you know what this is. And let me explain to you what this is. Again, if you don't know me, my name is Jason Miles. I have been only doing real estate now for 24 years. There's been ups and there have been downs. There have been good years, there have been bad years. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like so many others would, that we never lost any money. We never had a bad cycle. Through COVID, it was crazy. It was crazy. We bought a couple hundred units that I want to say it was the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. So we had to renovate them, bring them back up to speed, get them populated again. And there were people, just as we were populating them, just as we were putting people, filling the units and increasing our occupancy, where, they started the moratorium. So people did not have to pay rent. There was nothing that we could do about that. So what do? We take that L and we learn from it, right? We learn from it. Let's say, okay, how do we manage this in the event that something like that happens in the future? Is it likely? No, it isn't. But is it something that we want to try to be prepared for? Absolutely. Right? There are times when things just don't go according to plan. So you got to move to plan B, maybe even plan C. Sometimes you don't even know what that is. But the reality of it is you have to do it. You have to be as prepared as you can possibly be for it. But I can tell you firsthand, you won't be. You won't be. And that, yet again, is the benefit of you having a team to lean on, to find partners and develop relationships, to find answers to questions that you simply don't know the answer to and you can't find it, right? That's what we create here in Real Estate 360. So we have a private group in Facebook. It has about 1,300 people. You can post your deals there. You can ask your questions there. You can look for partners there. You can look for money there. You do whatever it is you need to do, right? If you need to learn how to do it, I can hook you up with one of our free courses. It's a free course, period, where you can, it's called Success in Your First 30 Days, and it breaks down what you need to do in the first 4 or 5 weeks of your entry into the real estate business. Interest rates are really, really high right now. Mortgage applications are, well, it depends on what information you're reading, but it's at a low. Refinances are through the roof. We had an interest rate cut. I expect we'll have one, hopefully 2 more cuts by the end of the year. I don't bank on that, but sometime within the first quarter, we'll be sub 6. The interest rate will be below 6. And then we'll see an increase in mortgage applications. We'll see purchases go a little more. There are deals everywhere. But if you've been looking for those deals, you might have had a hard time finding them or negotiating them. If you're looking on social media because you're interested in real estate, you're seeing expensive course after expensive course, software that's, more expensive than you may be able to invest in yourself right now. Or, cold callers, spend $1,500 over here for this, get this AI software, get this KPI software, get this. You don't know. And they all make it sound absolutely fantastic, but you have to figure out how to use it, period. Some of it is going to work for the way you do business. Some of it isn't. You're going to have to develop your own processes as time goes on. That's really the only way to make it happen. There are some things that'll cut the learning curve and help you get there a little bit faster, meaning really just kind of organizing you, right? And I want you to be able to understand the difference between those things. So we're finding deals. We're not finding as many deals as we found before. We're not working in as many markets as we were working in before. But just to give you an example, I'm in the Atlanta market. Atlanta is generally a pretty hot market. I don't even want to say warm. It's generally a very hot market, right? But how do you find the deals that you need to find? Well, you have to see what the values were in the last 90 days and then take 10% off of that. And that's what you make your offer based on. So just to give you an example, just throwing crazy numbers out there. If you find a house that in the past 90 days, homes in that area, maybe there was only one sale. Maybe there were none, because you see a lot of that in the past 90 days right now. But you have to be conservative. You have to be extra conservative. You just make more offers and then follow up. But let's just say that you looked at 90 days, you didn't see anything. You looked in 60 days window and you saw 325,000. Okay, great. Now, you know that nothing is moving, because you can look now and say, okay, these are the sales. What's sitting on the market? How long has it been on the market? What's it been on the market for? So if you see that properties have been on the market at 325,000 and they've been there for 4 months, 5 months, some of them have taken some reduction in price. Maybe the value has come down to, or they've dropped the price, down to, I don't know, let's just say 290,000, right? And it still isn't selling, and it's completely done. It's pristine. It's move-in ready. It's clean. It's shiny. It's got the appliances and beautiful cabinets and the counters and the space that is adequate for that particular price point in that area. Okay, cool. But if it isn't selling at 290 and it's been on the market for 4 months, 5 months, what do you got to do? You have to say that the value of that area is probably at about 275, maybe 270. That's what you have to do. Okay. Now, once you've brought that number down, now you have to say, all right, how much work does this house? Now we're looking at the house you're looking at. We looked at the comps and we say, all right, the comps are going to be at 270. We're going to be conservative. The comps are going to be at 270. My house, if I'm going to do the math correctly, I've got a lender, private or otherwise, that's going to give me 70% of that value all in. Okay, there's different ways that they structure it, but I'm giving you a base of the way they're going to look at it. So 70% of 270 is what? So 27 to 27 is 52 and 27 is 79. Let's just call it 80. So 210 all in, right? Let's say you've determined that this property needs $80,000 in renovation. Let's pull that 80,000 away from that 210. What is that going to give us? That gives us 130. Okay. If you're wholesaling this, you're going to probably start at 100 or 105, and you're going to top out at 110. Depends on how much you want to make. It depends on the market. Maybe you want to make 10,000, right? So you'll top out at 120. But you don't start at 120, you start at 110. Now, by starting there, you're going to build in more profit. If they say yes, if that property's been on the market, this could be a property that's on the MLS. Now, are you going to wholesale it to a lot of these other wholesalers? No, you're not, because most of these wholesalers do not want it unless you get it super, super cheap off the MLS. They're simply going to wait until your contract falls out and try to backdoor you. It's just what happens. Hedge funds won't do that, but they don't want to buy. Hedge funds and private equity, they don't want to buy if that property is on the MLS. Now, I can't tell you exactly why that is, because to me, a deal is a deal. And if they're not willing to buy a deal, regardless of where it is, well, hey, the only other recourse you have, the alternative, is to buy it, take it off the MLS, and then sell it. But what is the cost of purchasing that property if you don't have the cash, or a partner that has the cash? Because you're going to spend 2, 3, 4 points buying it. You're going to spend another 3,000, 6,000 on closing costs and insurance, at least, depending on where it is. It's just not worth it. You've already eaten up all of your profit, all of it, right? Because there's no guarantee you're going to sell it for $20,000 above. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but you do know that demand is low. Is there a demand? Absolutely. But that demand is extremely high when you get stuff extremely cheap. And I don't mean, cheap, cost effective, a low price. You have to make very, 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 very steep discounted offers. If you're not doing that, people are going to say yes, but then you're going to be saddled with this property. And maybe, just maybe, you put down earnest money and you can't get it back, depending on the terms of your contract. Pardon me. Now, if you built in, 7 to 10 days due diligence before you had to put the earnest money up, and then you took that and you put your marketing package out there and you got it out there, and people are looking at it, but they're not really responding, or maybe they're giving you the lowball offer you should have given in the first place. Well, now you have to go back and renegotiate that price. You know it, because that's what the market is telling you. Okay? That's what it's telling you. So this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. And you have to do it now, right now, because this is the slow season. It's always the slow season. Right after Halloween up and through maybe the first week or two of January. And then things start to pick back up, generally speaking. But the economy will tell us where that's going to be when we get into January. We don't know. But why do we want to do it now? We want to do it now so that we're ready and we have properties under contract, or we're negotiating and following up on properties so that when we get into January, we have those options. But hey, guess what? Maybe you don't know how to do that. All you have to do is follow me. Go to YouTube. It's Jason O. Miles Real Estate Network. You can go there, right? You can go right there, the Jason O. Miles Real Estate Network. There's a ton of videos. There's hundreds of videos there that you can look at. You can reach out to me. You can get involved in our all free program. Get involved in our Facebook group, which is also free, right? That's free as well. Let me pull this out here real quick. Okay, that's called the Real Estate Investment Accelerators Group. But again, you'll find it by searching for me, Jason O. Miles. You can find me everywhere on all the platforms that way. But you got to get busy. I'm not going to keep you long today, but I want you to pay attention to what has to happen. In the past 2 weeks, we've got almost 60 people in that free program because they want to refine what they're doing. They want to see what's going on. And I urge you, if you've wanted to do this, and this meaning invest in real estate, be a wholesaler, fix and flip, whatever that is. If this is something that you've been wanting to do and you haven't been able to do it because the training is expensive, you don't know where to go, you don't know how to start, all the tutorials that you watch aren't really working for you, listen, get involved with the community, ask your questions, go from there. You just have to do it. If you've had the money, you took the courses and nothing came from it, we're doing deals. We're doing deals. Are we doing as many deals as we want to do? No, we're not. We typically like to see, 15, at least 10 deals a month. We may contract 5 or 6 right now. Some months are even worse than that. And this month, so far, we've only contracted 2. But we're following up and negotiating on others. We're making offers every single day. We expect by the end of the month that we'll have, or before Thanksgiving, we'll probably have another 3 under contract. That's what we want to do, right? We want to be consistent. I don't have a big shop. It's just me and a few other people, and everybody plays their part. You don't have to have a big shop. It can just be you, right? You can learn how to do this, work with the team that you build, we help you build, and you can get out there and start finding deals in your market. It doesn't even have to be in your market. It can be somewhere else. But if it is in your market, great. If you're in a market that's super slow, I don't even want to tell you super saturated, right? Because we talk to people all the time that maybe they're in Arizona, or maybe they're in Houston, maybe Phoenix or Houston, or let's see where else, Dallas, Fort Worth. There's a bunch of different places that people say, hey, that's just too saturated. I can't do anything. There's this company that's doing this and that company. Listen, this is about timing. You can have 50 different ads out there for 50 different people that want to buy houses, but it's timing. When that person is ready to sell and ready to communicate, you just very, very well may be the one that called them, that sent them a letter, that they saw your PPC ad, they responded to your flyer, whatever the case, right? But there's also a lot of regulation that you have to be aware of right now that's happened just this year in 2026, some before, but there are some significant regulations that have come to pass in the last 4, 5, 6 months that you need, especially if you're cold calling. You can have fines anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 per violation if you're not doing it properly. But to do it properly, it's going to cost you money up front. It's going to cost you money ongoing. We can get into that another time. But it is imperative that you get with people that can help you do what you need to do. It is imperative that you learn the processes that are occurring today, not the stuff we were doing 2 years ago. Everything's different. Technology has changed the game. You have to find a way to incorporate technology. We also have methods for you to be able to take advantage of the real estate business from our perspective, right? We believe in the earn as you learn process. You can invest in real estate with fractionally in an ownership position with as little as $100. That's something we'll talk about down the line. It's not something we need to talk about today. Today It's just about me getting in front of you, sharing with you these processes, letting you know that there is no way you can fail if you put yourself out there, if you work it. You have to get out there and work it and be consistent. I don't care if that just means an hour a day. You have to be consistent. If this is what you want, you have to put in the work. There's no other way to say it. And again, I want to mention, this is my thought earlier, and I was just kind of talking about it now, is we're talking about money. You know, you'll see people talk about raising private capital and doing all these things and going here. And yes, there's a ton of money just sitting on the sidelines. The stock market's not doing good. The people that have gobs of money are right now pushing all that money into T-bills and gold and, you know, these safe things where big money goes when there's uncertainty in the market. And that is what I call alternative capital. Those people know what real estate can be. They know it. Most of them have had real estate. Most of them have invested in real estate, not just to live in their house, but actual investments. These lulls in the market, the lows, is where people get rich. It scares people away. This is the time where you get rich. When things get good, you're the one that's on top of the pile. We're buying right now 2 lots for $75,000 in Atlanta, in an area where homes are selling for $640,000 to $702,000, I believe it is, or roughly $700,000. Now, from a builder's perspective, if you get the land, you don't want to spend more than 20% on the land of what the retail cost is going to be. In this case, let's be really conservative and say that the retail of the house is going to be $600,000. 20% of that is $120,000. I'm getting the lots for under 40 each. So we've got a ton of room in there, equity, that we can utilize for the acquisition of this land. And so these are the things that you have to do. That's not part of the alternative capital, but raising the money to do that, to buy that land, raising the money to build those houses. We'll be using alternative capital to do that. Not your traditional hard money, because now you have private equity companies that have private money companies that are really not. They're hard money companies. What's the difference? The difference between hard money and private money is this. Hard money, you're going to pay points. You're going to have to put forth your W-2 or tax records, bank statements. They're going to pull your credit. They're going to do all that stuff. It's like a regular loan, right? They're going to want you to have a 680 or better credit score. They're going to want you to have experience. And how do you get experience if you've never done a deal before? You have to have your name on a settlement statement. That's how you prove it. And so by creating some of the things that we've created and allowing people to invest with us fractionally, this is going to give you just that. If you're part owner of an LLC that is on title, on deed, it's fixed, and then it gets sold, and then you get paid, and you've got a copy of your settlement statement, and you've done that once or twice while you're learning and earning money, not just with us, but on your own as a wholesaler, and you get the money and you go, okay, boom, I've got X number of dollars. I'm going to go and raise money, which of course we can help you do that. You find a deal that fits the parameters, regardless of the city that you're in. If it fits our buy box, we'll partner with you. We'll partner with you. Now, that isn't an unlimited thing. We're not going to be doing, 100 flips at a time. We have to take that on a case-by-case basis. I just want to reiterate that, right? We are not a program where we want to have 2,000 people in the program all bringing us deals. That's not who we are. When you're working with us, I want to know who you are. I want to know your first name. I want to be able to talk to you. I want you to be able to talk to me and the team. That's the way business gets done. We're not a big company. We don't want to be a big, massive company. Not too many people really do. It's great when we hear people talk about, hey, I made $6.4 million wholesaling or fix and flip. And that's great. That's perfect. That's great. I love it. I love it for you. We know that there are people that do that. We know that there are people that have done that. And we know that there's people that are going to do that again, right? But there's a difference. Is that all profit? Is that profit sharing? Or is that the amount of real estate you've sold Like realtors count it up, right? The realtor will get their $1 million pin. It means they made $30,000 this year. It means they sold $1 million worth of real estate. Maybe these folks are using that 6.4, whatever number they're throwing out on social media to say, we did that much in sales. That much in sales doesn't mean profit. All right. So don't get all starry eyed because you hear this person talking about how much they did. It doesn't make any sense. It really, really doesn't, especially in the market that we're in today. There are an infinite number of ways to make money in real estate. You can be a lender. You can be a private lender. You can be a money lender partner. You can be someone who loans the earnest money on a deal that makes sense for you. You can be someone who is wholesaling. You can be someone who's fix and flipping. You can do the BRRRR strategy. You can, whatever. There's a million different ways for you to make money in real estate. A ton. You can be a transactional funder. There's just so many different things that you can do. But I don't know where you stand today. I don't know where you stand. I don't know what your goals are. And so reach out, respond to this. Just send me an email or leave a comment. Follow me on social media and reach out to me in that way. Again, it's Jason O. Miles, Myles, just as it says on the screen. And you can find me on all platforms under that name. I don't spend too much time on X though, so probably want to stay away from that. So we're talking about TikTok. We're talking about Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Let's just stick with those. Let's just stick with those 5 things. And hey, listen, we're going to do this every single Sunday. And if you have comments, again, just comment. Let me know what you're trying to do. Let me know what your goals are. And let's see what fits for you. Again, we've got strategies that work for everyone, whether you're just starting or you've been doing this and you're having a very difficult time trying to figure it all out right now because it's crazy out here and it's changing all the time. Every month when the numbers come out, something different is happening. Some lending rules are changing or parameters are changing. That's just the nature of the game. It's the nature of the business. Read the description to this video. We have to adjust. It's up to us to adjust because the money is adjusting. The money is going to change based on the way it needs to come back into those big banks or those lenders or those private lenders, whatever it is, it has to. But by utilizing these alternative capital resources that we've put together and working together to make this happen, as you get educated, you can earn, get educated, basically learn, and do your own thing all at the same time. This is vitally important, vitally important. There's too much money sitting out there on the sidelines waiting to get in. I liken it to a game of double dutch, right? It's all timing. How fast are the ropes going and what is your skill level, right? If you're not that good, you need the ropes to go a little bit slower. That's what I'm doing for you. I'm slowing it down for you so that you can get in the game, so that you can get your timing right, so that you can see what we see on this side. Not that you're going to be a fortune teller, but you'll be able to see the ins and outs of the market. You'll be able to determine when it's time for you to shift your strategy. And if you're doing well with the money that you earn, you'll put that into other places that are going to give you what we call mailbox money. You make a few $100,000, which you can earn $250,000 with just a few deals a year, depending on maybe 4 or 5 deals a year, depending on where you are in the country and what type of deals those are. But if you have a career and you're making some money and you earn that kind of money, even if that's all you earned from real estate, if you're doing nothing else and you earn a couple $100,000 next year, you have to live below your means so that you can live above your means later. Okay. So you can one day turn into the alternative capital sources that I'm talking about so that you can invest in apartment buildings. And every month, you've got $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 coming in the mail. All you have to do is mind the store. What do I mean when I say mind the store? I mean, make sure that your investment is doing well. Make sure your management team is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Make sure that the repairs are getting done. Make sure that your turnover in your units aren't taking 30 days when it should take 10 days. So I'm going to fall back right now and let you enjoy your Sunday. Go have your meal, go watch your game, get ready for tomorrow, get yourself together. But hey, this is what it is. Real Estate 360. My name is Jason Miles. And if you want to know how to get ahead in 2026, let's work together. I'll see you next week. Peace.